As India explores partnerships for future sixth-generation fighters, an old offer has returned to the table. Russian President Vladimir Putin has once again invited India to join Su-57 stealth fighter program. This time, not just as a buyer, but as a development partner. The proposal comes at a time when Indian Air Force faces a critical fighter shortage and also rising competition from China and Pakistan. So could the Su-57 become India's bridge to next generation of air warfare? Nearly 2 decades ago, India and Russia set out on an ambitious journey. The goal was to jointly develop a fifth-generation stealth fighter under FGFA program. But after years of negotiation, New Delhi walked away in 2018, citing concerns over costs, technology transfer, engine performance, and the aircraft's overall maturity. Today, that story may not be over. Russian President Vladimir Putin has renewed Moscow's invitation, signaling that India can still join Su-57 program. Speaking at the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum, Putin revealed that Russia had originally offered India the opportunity to co-develop what he described as one of the world's most advanced fifth-generation fighter technologies. At the time, India chose to wait and watch. Russia proceeded independently, but now with the aircraft operational and production underway, Moscow says the door remains open, not just for procurement, but for joint production, upgrades and future development. The timing of the offer is significant. The Indian Air Force currently operates around 29 fighter squadrons, well below its sanctioned strength of 42. Meanwhile, China continues to expand its fleet of J-20 stealth fighters. Pakistan is also expected to induct Chinese J-35 stealth aircraft in the coming years. The strategic environment is changing rapidly, and India is searching for ways to maintain its edge. The Su-57 represents Russia's answer to fifth-generation air combat. The aircraft combines stealth shaping, internal weapons base, sensor fusion and super cruise capability. Designed for both air superiority and strike missions, the fighter is intended to operate in highly contested environments against advanced adversaries. Russia claims combat experience has helped redefine the platform, while production continues to expand for both domestic and export customers. What makes Moscow's latest proposal particularly noteworthy is its emphasis on technology sharing. Putin has reiterated that Russia imposes no political restrictions on military cooperation with India. According to Moscow, collaboration could include local manufacturing, upgrades, system integration, and access to critical technologies. For New Delhi, which increasingly prioritizes indigenous capability and domestic production, these promises could carry considerable weight. Yet the decision is far from straightforward. India's fighter modernization plan is already moving on multiple tracks. The Tejas Mk-1 Alpha program is expanding. Tejas Mk-2 is under development. The AMCA stealth fighter remains India's long-term indigenous solution. At the same time, Super Sukhoi upgrade program aims to transfer the existing Su-30 MKI fleet into a far more capable platform. And the long-delayed MRFA competition continues to seek a new generation of multi-role fighters. Any decision on Su-57 will have to fit into a broader strategic picture. For India, the Su-57 debate is no longer just about buying another fighter aircraft. It is about managing a critical transition period. The AMCA may not enter service until mid of 2030s. China's stealth fleet is growing today, and Indian Air Force cannot afford capability gap in increasingly contested region. So whether New Delhi chooses to revisit Su-57 or pursue other options is for the government of India to decide.
However, within the expert community and the strategic circles, the opinion appears to be divided. So now let's talk about different shades of opinion that are revolving around AMCA and Su-57. So let's first talk about those who are talking in favor of Su-57. So on the wall, I have got few pointers through which I'll explain that what they are trying to say. The first one is the squadron strength. As we are all aware, the approved squadron strength is of around 42. However, 29 exists. So there is a huge shortfall because there has been a lot of obsolescence of aircrafts like MiG-21, MiG-27 and also Jaguar fleet, which is nearing obsolescence. Then we have the Chinese stealth fighters. We are already aware that Chinese are flying stealth fighters, J-20, J-35, and Pakistan is also interested in buying J-35, so that should be a cause of worry. Thereafter, we come to Su-57. Now, there is a very important point which this group is making, that Su-57 is available. It is available off the shelf. So basically, you can counter the Chinese and the Pakistani threat, or the Chinese stealth threat, so to say. And the best part of this particular option or the argument is that technology is available for transfer. This is the only technology that you are getting clean as transferable. Now, what are the points that the other group is saying, which says that we should not go in for Su-57. So what basically they are trying to tell is that we would be wasting money if we buy this aircraft. So let's focus purely on AMCA. Let's not divert our funds. Funds are very crucial, limited. So let's focus on AMCA. This is what their opening argument on the subject, or the strongest argument is. Then they are also questioning the stealth of this fabulous aircraft that we can see on the screen. So they are saying that the stealth of this aircraft is also questionable because this aircraft was not designed initially to be operating like the F-22s and the Raptor. So there is a question over its stealth. Thereafter, they talk about the logistic burden. They say that if you bring in this aircraft, the logistic burden will increase, to which I disagree, because I personally feel that whichever aircraft you may buy, the logistics will, of course, get elaborated. So that's part of the whole game. So I don't think so it's a major issue. However, they also have a point that future is of 6th generation. So when future is of 6th generation, AMCA is being built as a 6th generation fighter aircraft. So why do we need a 5th generation aircraft that has not proved itself to the best in the parameters or the parameter scale of a 5th generation fighter aircraft? So these are the points that are given by the group which is not in favor of purchase of this particular aircraft. Now there has to be a middle path. That's what I think should be India's option, because let's not forget that even Rafale is a stopgap or the bridging gap between the fighter technology capability that is available with India. And similarly, as AMCA gets operational somewhere in mid-30s, so you have got good about 8 to 9 years of gap, capability gap. So that capability gap can be bridged by this particular aircraft. So we should buy in, just like we bought the Rafale. So we should buy in Su-57 to bridge this capability gap. Meanwhile, we keep on developing our AMCA. So this is how we should try and balance the whole issue. The core disagreement, at its heart, the debate comes down to one question. Is the biggest threat to India is the absence of a stealth fighter today? Or is it the risk of weakening AMCA by investing too heavily in a foreign stealth fighter? Those prioritizing the near-term China challenge are favoring the Su-57, while those prioritizing long-term self-reliance are in favor of putting everything available behind the AMCA. So that is the fundamental fault line running through the current debate inside India's air power community.